Welcome back to What's Grief Got to Do With It. I am your host, Marika L. Floyd. Listen, before I get started today, if you hear the sirens, guess what? My recording studio is down from the police station. If you hear the train, the horn of the train, guess what? I work across the street from the train tracks. This is real life. Grief is real. Grief ain't cute. Grief does not give permission. We're here today to be open and real with you. So we're hoping and welcoming you to come into this space to be as open with us, as real with us, and as vulnerable with us. I gave you all a challenge, my very first episode, to draft your loss list. Remember, LOSS, loss list. I did that so that you would be aware of all of the losses, whether it's the death of a loved one, the death of a pet, a move, the loss of a job, divorce, end of a relationship. No matter what those losses are or were, I wanted you to be aware of all of the things that you've been carrying. Okay? This month of May represents the month that we celebrate Mother's Day. And May can be very, very heavy for a lot of you. So going back to your loss list, I hope that you all did your homework, because we're going to examine whatever those losses embodied for you or to you. What did you lose with that particular person, with that particular job? Was it a loss of identity? Was it a loss of a companion? Was it a loss of a friend? Was it a loss of finances, a loss of security? Whatever those secondary losses are, you grieve those things as well. And so we're going to come back and be more specific about that. With this Mother's Day episode, the loss of a mother or a maternal figure can incorporate multiple layers of secondary losses. I have a very special guest here with me today who's going to help us break down what that loss list and what those secondary losses meant to her as she continues to endure the loss of her mother. What happens when the person trained to hold the space is the one who needs the space held for them? Think about that. Today I'm joined by a colleague and someone that I've grown to know as a friend. And she experienced the profound loss of her mother 4 years ago. And she found herself navigating that loss while sitting in a therapist's chair. So help me welcome Tamia.
Hey, how you doing?
Tamia, before we talk about the healing, and welcome first of all, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so before we talk about the healing, I want to talk about the weight. So you're a practicing therapist.
Yes.
And you were practicing therapy when your mother died?
Yes.
Okay. Describe that split screen life for me, where you're here, you show up at a home or show up in a school or you show up in your office to help a client and guide them through their grief, but you needed guidance as well. Can you start walking me through that process, what that was like for you?
It was hard to separate my personal from work. I found myself in their sessions, turning their sessions into a session about me. And I had to step away and develop a coping skill for me. And one of that coping skills was sometimes I just sit out in my car before I even go into the home and talk to the client. And have some time to myself. It's very hard to do, especially when you don't know how to handle the grief and what to do with it and how to face it. So
that's layered. So you mentioned coping skills, and you all know what I say about coping skills. I work with adapting, but one of your coping skills, one that you found helpful for you, was to sit in your car and do what again?
And just meditate before and make sure my mind was clear before I went into the home. And then I also prayed.
Okay.
I prayed and I asked God to intercede and to help me give the family what they need today.
So those are healthy coping skills. Praying and meditating, and you incorporate breathing into that. What allowed you to see that you were taking your grief into your therapy sessions? When did that shift happen?
When we're sitting in the session and I had a timer on and I realized just about the whole hour I'm talking about my mom.
Wow.
I'm talking about something that I miss about her. Either I'm breaking down crying. I have broken down and cried in sessions in front of people about my mom and about grief. It was hard. It was hard. Sometimes I couldn't even get out of bed. So the only thing that would push me out was me going to work. And then when I'm going to work, I'm talking about my mom. So, yeah.
How did your clients respond to that when you were in that space talking about your mom in
A
that
lot
session?
of them was open and they was acceptance of it, but I know that professionally it wasn't right. But not a lot of lashback. A lot of them had heart and kind of say either they are turning in them talking about they lost loved ones too.
So in some occasions, it sounds like it was a space that you were able to share, or they were able to share with you
Right.
in your time of need.
Right.
Tell me what shifted in you to get you to that point where you could be present for them as Tamia the therapist.
I had to seek help. I had a supportive supervisor.
Okay.
And she was very supportive to the point where she said to me, I can take my boss hat off and I can come down there and have lunch with you. And we could just sit and talk if you want to. She knew that when it even got to the time when she would tell me, Tamia, it might be time for you to go take a leave of absence. Go ahead and go to the doctor. She said, because grief is hard. And then she started telling me about her grief journey.
Okay.
With her losing her dad. She said it was 10 years before she even realized that she haven't grieved properly. So that was the shift. I had to get help. And so as I was looking for help in the community, I realized it wasn't really too much help out there.
What do you mean by that?
I started looking for like churches and different events to go to, and then that's when I met you and at the church that we was going to. And when I had to leave, I think that was a Mother's Day.
It was.
And it was a Mother's Day and I was breaking down. And you came and you told me that you wanted to start a group for grief. And that started helping going to the grief groups. And I wasn't quite ready to go to individual yet. I didn't know how that would look, and it just, a therapist seeing a therapist just didn't make sense to me.
Right.
I didn't understand how that would quite look. So moving forward, I went to grief groups, and then after going to grief groups, then I started individual. And the individual is what really helped and what broke it down.
So the journey or the path that you were doubting, the therapist, that initial path that you were doubting turned out to be the one that was the most helpful.
It turned out to be the one that was most helpful.
Let's be real for a second, because I want the people to really hear the hearts of both of us, you and me. And let's just be real. There are some circumstances where the therapist needs a therapist and a coach needs a coach, because we're human.
Right.
But if there's fear or if there's doubt clouding that decision, then you stray away from it. Let's be honest and be real about what group did for you at first, or what it didn't do.
Group gave me an opening and clarity for me to see that I'm not alone.
Okay.
When my mother passed, friends and family, they would check in on me when she first passed. They did that for a couple of months, a few months consistently. And then after that, they slowly started fading away. And then it was just me there. And my mom, our relationship, my mom lived with me for the last 8-9 years. So we woke up together. We went to bed. I would go in her room, say good night, Mom. She'll wake me up throughout the night. So she was more than a mom. She was a friend and a companion. And that group really gave me an outlet. But it didn't work with the individual layer.
That part.
Of my personal things that I could really lay out and talk about. Like the relationships with my family. It couldn't lay out that. I did talk about that a little bit in group. but individual give you a more in-depth, clearer look to it to me. Group is just like an invitation to get you started. And like I tell people, just go and listen. If you don't do anything else, see if you'll like it.
You don't have to talk. You can just listen to be present. And the reason why I brought that up and I wanted us to be honest about that is because, and correct me if I'm wrong, what I heard you say is group help with the relational aspect as far as community and connection, a sense of community and connection, because grief requires connection. But
Right.
on the more intimate level of your grief, group couldn't touch that.
Right.
Not that it was a bad group. It just could not touch
No,
that.
it didn't touch it. And
You
it
needed that
helped.
one-on-one.
Yeah, it helped with like a temporary fix.
Okay.
It helped with like a temporary fix, but later on you would, and as you start to heal or you think you're healing, something that happened to trigger you and they go back to you needing it again. So
Needing what again?
needed group again. I needed
Okay.
therapy again. I needed to connect with somebody again. So it puts you in connection with people that's like-minded, that's going through the same thing that you're going through.
All right. Thank you for that layer of honesty, because for those of you who are listening, I have clients who contemplate on going to group, whether it's my group or it's another group. They contemplate on whether or not they should go to group first, sometimes to avoid individual therapy. Let's just be honest about that. And I always say, like you encourage people to me, go and see. And then you have to make that decision for yourself. Now, sometimes I don't recommend it depending on the type of loss, because it just depends on that person and their circumstances. It's not cookie cutter for everyone. Sometimes I wouldn't recommend group because I know someone needs that one-on-one connection. Your answer was so loaded, so my wheels are spinning over here. Tell me about your mom, and then I want to move into another layer of that.
Like I said, for the last 8-9 years she lived with me. But growing up, I wasn't always an angel.
I think most of us can
So-
say that.
So our relationship got close when she moved in, and she moved in due to her sickness.
Okay.
She still had her house, and I'm still upkeeping her house. But over the years, we got close. We had a ritual where we would drink coffee together at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning and sit there and laugh and talk about my siblings and her other children and the family and the things that's going on. It's a lot of things about my mom I miss, but it's learning to appreciate that too, going through the grief. This grief journey has been real. My mom, she was an angel, and I just try to honor her in every way I can.
Yeah.
I try to honor what she has taught me. I try to honor what she's distilled in me, because it's important. And I want to make her name proud.
How has that helped you through your grief journey and process, honoring her in that way?
It gives me the strength to go forward, because I want her to know that, look, I'm okay. When my mom died, she was worried about me. She didn't want to die. She kept saying to me, "Are you gonna be all right?" I want her to know that I'm okay. I'm good. And it took some time to get here. My mom died June the 30th, 2022. And it's been a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster, but and the ones who I thought that was gonna be here with me, who was gonna be a support, it hasn't been. But God put me the people in my life that has given me the support that I need to move forward. Yeah, my mom was an awesome mom.
Thank you for sharing that part of her with us. And let me tell you all why I invited Tamia today. Can I tell on you?
Yeah.
I met Tamia about a year after your mother died.
Right.
And like she told you all, we met at church, and we won't say the name, But when I met her, she was in the bathroom, and it was a hard day that day. It was a Mother's Day Sunday. It was a Mother's Day service. And I'll never forget that. I'll say the person delivering the word that day. How about I frame it like that? I'll never forget when they said, I know it's Mother's Day, and I know that a lot of you all are sad today. But today we're not going to be sad. We're going to be happy. We're going to smile today. We're going to celebrate. And I remember holding my breath because I still have my mother. And I can't tell someone who doesn't have their mother to smile today on Mother's Day. And the person delivering the word, their mother was sitting in the front. And I saw you when you got up and walked out. And I said, Lord, this isn't good. And so I waited to see if you were going to come back. And that started our journey together. But the reason why I wanted you to come here today is because I watched you climb out of the pits of darkness. You understand me?
Yes.
You clawed your way out of the pits. And it took work. You know your journey more than me. I can't put words in your mouth and feelings in your heart. But to see you now, after you've made the commitment to keep showing up and showing up and showing up, because you didn't come out of the womb like this. You had to work for it. And to see you now, I've seen that shift. And I brought Tamia here, you all, so that she could share that journey with you, just to give you some hope. So listen, your journey, her journey, they can't be compared. Nobody's journey is cookie cutter. So what works for her might not work for you. That's okay. What works for you might not work for her. That is okay. But just to have you to hear voices from everyday people like me and like you, who've been through the pits and they've made their way out. I just want you to have a sense of hope that maybe you too, no, not maybe, that you too can make your way out. Okay, with the work, because it doesn't take time. Time does not heal that kind of a wound. It takes processing. And that's what Tamia learned. It took the process of doing the work, of expressing her heart and giving her feelings and her experiences a name. So with that being said about who your mom is and was to you, tell me what she embodied that you lost to. What were those secondary losses? What else were you grieving when your mom died? Everything about her.
My mom became one of my support systems. She was the one who I could call and talk to if I was going through something, if I was dealing with something. She was right there. She was at least there by phone that I could talk to her and communicate to her. So she was a big part of my life. My mom, she became a lot that I poured into. My kids are grown. They moved on. Except one of them was still at the house. And he took it hard too, but she was a big part of my life. And for a long time, it was like we was three stooges. It wasn't nobody but me, her, and my youngest son. And I do have two kids, but my youngest son was always there. So yeah, she was a big part of my life. I learned from her. We talked, we laughed, we joked. You know, we still had those moments of mother and daughter. She never forgot. She never let me. You still my child. I brought you in, and I still take you out.
Take you out.
Yeah. So she always said a balance and a boundary, but she was still one of my best friends.
So you lost with your mother. What's your mother's first name?
Truda.
Truda. With Truda, your mom, you lost your support partner.
Yes.
Your companion.
Yes.
Your coffee buddy. Your laughing partner. Your teacher. Your mentor. Your friend.
Right.
And the list goes on. We're just naming a few. So you grieve all of those things.
Right.
Under the umbrella of Truda, the person, the mom for you.
Right.
These are your losses, not your son's.
Mine.
Not her sisters and brothers. Yours.
Mine.
Up under that umbrella are all of these secondary losses that you also grieve, sometimes individually, sometimes all at once.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. That's what makes your grief so heavy. You have to realize, you have to name, you have to know what you're carrying and the impact of what you carry. Who is this person to you? What are your secondary losses? What are you grieving as well? Even in the relationship, if your relationship ended, even with the job, if your job has ended, with your pets, all right, with your physical health, what are those secondary losses that you also grieve? So to me, we've hinted around just in your story, because it's a part of your story. We've hinted around because one of your secondary losses was family support.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, my mom, she was the biggest supporter. My mom was adopted, so
Okay.
So her adopted family is in Georgia. And as time went on and as we got older, we separated away from the family in Georgia. And so really it was just us.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, my mom, and my son, my youngest son. Just us. You seen others as they needed things from us, but they wasn't a constant part of our life. She was my everything. Yeah. And when I lost her, I was lost. Mm-hmm. I was questioning God, why? Like, why would you take my mom? And that's all I got. I didn't understand. But as time went on, I healed, and I'm healing. Every day is a struggle, is a work in progress. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna say it's a struggle, because now I'm better. I have more clarity. I'm happy. So yeah, the loss, me losing her, is I'm just trying to connect the dots without her.
You talking about adapting now?
Yeah, I'm trying to connect the dots without her and learning how to move on with that. So I never forget her. She'll always be a part of my life. But I know she's not here physically.
But you carry her, I try not to say but, you all. And she's not here physically, and you carry her in what way?
I carry her in my heart. I carry her in my memories, in my mind. When she first died, I didn't know what to do. It's been close to 4 years, and I'm still paying her cell phone bill. I'm still paying bills like she's here. I haven't given away her clothes. Matter of fact, I just made a phone call for somebody so I can take them some of her clothes. I think now that I've dealt with this part of my grief, I'm ready. So I'm growing slowly in the loss with losing her. It really gives you a clear picture of who you have and who you don't have.
As far as what?
As far as support.
I didn't want to make assumptions. Okay. All right. So your answer was beautiful and so layered. So I'm going to come back to the family support in just a minute. And you talked about you having to adapt to her being gone. And so now we're talking about coping versus adapting, because your entire world shifted and changed when she left it physically.
Right.
And you had to learn how to live in it in a new way.
Right, in a new way, right.
Because you're not the same.
No.
That doesn't mean it's a bad change.
No.
It's still a change.
It's still a change.
And so before we get to family, tell me about how you feel about God. I got my air quotes up, you all, taking her from you now. How do you feel about that today?
Me and God has a relationship, so you have to have a relationship with God. You have to. It's very important. Get in your Bible, study your Bible, go to church, do whatever you have to do to pray to God. They have auditory Bibles where you can hear the Bible. It's important. Get into your Bible. I have a relationship with God. And when I first started questioning God, God's response to me was, He sent flashbacks to me of my mom suffering through the hospital for 4 years straight. Every month, the same time. Every month of the same year.
Wow.
For that whole month, she stayed in the hospital every month. And God said, I was trying to prepare you. He said, I gave you time with her. He said, so remember she was in the hospital this year for a whole month. Starting back with 2020. She was in the hospital the next year for a whole month. So going back for years, for a few years at least, she stayed in the hospital every month, and he showed me that pattern. He said, so I was preparing you then. He said, and all I could say was, God, thank you. So that's me moving forward and helping God give strength. But God, every time I suffered or I struggled with the grief, I would cry out and ask God to give me guidance and to show me what I need to do, where I need to go. And he put the right people in my life. So, yeah, that I could connect with, or that I can build with, and that I can grow with. So,
I was talking to one of our mutual friends the other day, and she said something that I actually have pinned to the wall in my other room in here, that sometimes we meet our brightest lights in our darkest moments or our darkest spaces.
right.
So there are so many people like you and like Susie, so many people I've made connections with doing my grief work. And I only do my grief work because of my own grief journey,
Right.
and my healing journey.
Right.
And so going back to you seeing how, or God showing you how he was preparing you, I had to accept. And remember, acceptance doesn't mean you like it, understand it, agree with it, feel good about it. It just simply means you understand the reality of your circumstances, your situation, and you choose what to do with that information and how to show up in that space. So I wanted to put that disclaimer and explanation out before I say what I'm about to say. It was hard for me to accept they were never mine.
Yeah, they're not yours.
They were never mine. And so I was blessed to be here and to be blessed by their presence, and hopefully they were blessed with mine,
Right.
but they were never mine.
Right.
So when they left here, they went back to their father. They were never
they
mine.
went right to God.
And people have different beliefs, so listen, and I
Yes.
respect that. So, but here in this space with me personally, this is mine, this is not for you, this is not cookie cutter. What helped me get through was to accept the fact that they were never mine. And I had to start looking back to be grateful for the time that I had with them while they were here.
Yeah. And I know my aunt is of a different religion, and she went back and forth with me, arguing with me, saying, what made you think God took your mom? Well, if God didn't get her, what do you think she's at? So that kind of offended me. So yeah, and also through this journey, I'm learning of what to not tune out, but learning how to accept people for their thoughts and their views.
Remember what we said, it doesn't mean you agree with their views.
Right, I just respect it.
Yeah.
And if that's your belief, that's your belief. But what helps me grow is knowing that my mom is with God.
Yeah. You know, we had a conversation, I think you mentioned it briefly, about what to say and what not to say to someone who's grieving, and some things just aren't helpful. So I know we're going in another direction, and we're just kind of meeting each other where we are and going with the flow. Let's come back to family for a second. Tell me about that loss of support, that being a secondary loss. And I don't want to put words in your mouth and feelings in your heart. How would you compare that to trauma?
It is traumatizing. It is traumatizing, and it can also lead to depression and a loss of hope. It can really lead to some dark, dark places. And for others who are going through that, you have to find your support system. You have to find who you connect with. I have multiple brothers, and I don't have any relationships with the two. I got a sister-in-law. She'll walk right past me and don't even speak. So it just really brings clarity to who you have. I had one aunt who asked me what was wrong with me and why she hadn't heard from me in a year. And I told her, I said, I'm still dealing with my mom's loss. I'm still kind of grieving. She said, you just gonna have to get over that. And then she turned around and asked me for my mama wigs. She said, do she still got some wigs left? So
Okay, I'm holding my breath.
you have to. That was another thing. You have to respect people and respect people's thoughts and be able to step away so they won't clutter on what you're going through and your healing.
Yes. You said
Because
something.
that will take you back to where you thought you healed from.
Yes.
And it'll take you back to a negative place. And you got to be careful to protect your heart. God tell you protect your heart. The Bible tell you to protect your heart.
That's right.
So you have to protect your heart. So yeah.
So let's pause there for a minute because I want people to have clarity there. Acceptance does not mean you roll over and take it.
No.
It does not mean that you allow people to bring that energy into your space. No. You can still set boundaries. You know, what you said wasn't very helpful.
Yeah.
Or you can just say, okay is such a loaded word. Yeah. We don't know what is behind that okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be rude, but you can protect your space.
Yeah.
So in understanding, accepting, acknowledging that people are going to be people. And sometimes with the knowledge, again, you know, we talked about knowledge being information. It's not power. It's only information until you execute it. When people show me who they are, well, now I have the information. Mm-hmm. And the way I execute it, what I do with that, okay, now I know how to move around you. Now I know what to say and what not to say around you.
Right.
I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to grant you grace and either deny you access or only grant you partial access.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So you've learned from what I'm hearing, sometimes your greatest support or the people who become family are not blood related.
No, they're not. They're not blood related.
Not all the time. They don't have to be.
I think at this point, I don't even think I have an emergency contact.
That's blood related.
That's blood related. I couldn't even call my brothers for an emergency. If something was to happen to me, I don't think they would show up. So no, they're not blood related. My biggest supporters, God put them in my life. And through support, I joined the sorority. Mm-hmm. And even through that, the ones who you think gonna be there is not gonna be there. But one of them been there consistently. Well, a couple of them I can call consistently. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that. So you just pull your support from where you can, and you need to, and you have to recognize and don't take it personal. Sometimes us being vulnerable with grief and us going through grief, sometimes when people do things to us and we be like, well, I'm trying so hard. What is it? You can't take it personal. You have to be able to accept it and move on.
Tell me more about what you mean by that. Let me make sure I'm following you.
When I say accept it and move on, like reaching out to people and connecting with people. Through my grief journey, through my grief journey, a lot of people that I've tried to connect with and reached out to, it's kind of like they rejected me. But I don't take that as a form of rejection. We just didn't fit, and it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. That's what I mean by
that's acceptance. That's
not taking it personal.
Yeah.
But I don't think if I wasn't able to deal with my grief. If I didn't deal with my grief, I don't think I would be at that point.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense because grief can cloud your judgment and your perception sometimes. Right. And so what I heard you do, you demonstrated what acceptance actually looks like. That doesn't make them bad people. We're just not a good fit. And I'm wondering too if they were uncomfortable with your grief. So it wasn't. Yeah. It may not have been rejection, and I can't say that for sure because I'm not in your shoes, and I didn't witness what you witnessed, and I didn't feel what you felt, and I acknowledge that and I respect it. Sometimes our grief makes people so uncomfortable that we feel shunned, we feel rejected.
It do
because they don't know how to show up.
They don't know how to show up, and they don't know how to deal with it. Like I said, I got one sorority sister who's been consistent. And I was telling her just the day before yesterday, I said, I feel so much better. Since I've been going through grief counseling individually. And I started December the 24th, the day before Christmas.
Christmas Eve, yeah.
It's on the Wednesday. I started on Christmas Eve. And just in a matter of 3 months, 4 months, I feel so much better. I feel like I'm in a different space. I done dealt with all the strongholds, and I was telling her that, and she came back. She said to me, "I'm glad, because at one time you was cussing me out, and I'm like, what did I do?
And I didn't cut you. Yeah.
What did I do?" So she told me, she said, "Yeah, I could tell that you grown." She said, "I could tell that you done got better. I'm glad." But yeah, she's about the only one. But you're right. A lot of people, when you grieve and you push them away because they don't know how to deal with it or what to say to deal with it. But that's just a matter, for me, it's them showing me the real them, that they really can't be there to support me. Is it that I need to be able to support myself first?
It might be all of the above, because listen, again, that doesn't make them bad people necessarily. They just don't know how to show up. Some people can't show up for themselves. How in the world do you expect them to show up for you?
Right.
And you said something that was a little layered. You said something about pushing them away.
Right.
And then on the other side of that, them not knowing how to show up. Sometimes as we're grieving, we do push our support systems away.
Right.
We don't know what we need.
Right. I had an aunt that told me, said that to me, "I don't know what I could tell you, what I can say." This was when my mom first died. She said, "I don't know what I could tell you, what I can say," because she said, "It seems like everything I'm saying is wrong. So I'm just not going to say anything." I said, "Aunt, it's you just being here is enough. I appreciate that."
Say that again.
You just being here is enough. And the fact that you're able to accept that I'm going to have outbursts. And that was enough.
So sometimes we don't have to have the right things to say.
Yeah.
Just be present.
Just be present. Just be there.
Yeah. Just
be there. And sit still, listen, vent, listen to them vent, whatever they got to say, and just be there. That's a support system.
Yeah. I want to be real for a minute. Just sit there and shut up.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
It don't always take a story or take you correcting them
or comparing your story to theirs.
And my aunt is, for one, that one time in the hospital, she didn't say not one thing about opening the Bible. I guess because she knew that I wasn't in the mood for that. But yeah.
Maybe she just knew just to be present.
Just to be present.
And that was enough.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you. I want to go back a little bit, because you were talking about having your doubts and reservations about meeting with a therapist as a therapist.
Right.
Right? So what was the most uncomfortable, if you can think back, part of me as a therapist and coach witnessing your grief? So you're showing up as a therapist. What was the most uncomfortable part of that for you?
Thinking that you're judging me.
All right.
Thinking that the people, so-called friends, and already told me that I was weird. I just had one of my friends tell me the other day that how I was grieving wasn't normal. So she's a friend, and she's supposed to be a friend, and she's not a therapist. Imagine somebody who does the same work that you do, looking at you at the way you're acting, and you're in your moment.
And thinking that's not normal, that you're weird or strange. You said something, I'm glad you shared that with me, because you said something about you still paying your mom's phone bill,
right,
and still having her clothes. You shared that with me before, and I don't judge, and you people listen to me, because everybody's journey is different. I don't judge anyone's actions through their grief. Now, I will seek help for you, additional help, if there's a threat of self-harm or harm to others. That's a different level. We're not talking about that here. But that was a part of your process. Because her phone, her clothes, those are the things that allow you to feel connected to her.
Right. It was.
So to call it weird or to call it abnormal, well, it might not be something that they would practice. That doesn't mean it's wrong.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's weird.
Right.
It's just different from what somebody else might do. Right. They might do something different from what I might do. I might do something different from what you might do.
Right.
That doesn't make it wrong.
Everybody's grief journey is different.
It's different.
And there's no way to say it's weird or say it's abnormal. Yeah.
So people listen up, because I know some of you are guilty of that. I know it. Let me tell you this. You're not the only therapist that I see. You're not the only helping or medical professional that I see. We're human.
Right.
So if we don't take that professional hat off and
Right.
deal and heal our human side, how are we going to show up for ourselves or somebody else?
Right.
I've gone to a therapist before. You all know my story. I was a therapist when I was going to a therapist.
Right.
But in her chair, I was Marika. I was hurting. Like, help me, because this ain't it.
Right. Right. You have to learn how to deal with it. Imbalance. I'm finding a new me.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm finding a new me. And I'm learning to be happy with me.
Yeah. And I've been able to witness that for you.
The way my life is going now, the things that I'm doing, what brings me pleasure. You have to find you.
That's that phase of reorganization, because when I met you, I saw some of the shock and the numbness, but I really met you during your disorganization and despair phase. And that was that internal chaos and some external chaos with your family. That's where you were when I met you. So to be able to witness you go from disorganization to reorganization and rebuilding.
Right.
I see it in your eyes. I see it in the complexion and the glow of your skin. I see it with how you carry yourself. I hear it with your language.
Right.
Your language is different. You went from doom and gloom to hope.
Right. I have hope now. I'm making plans. I'm trying
Traveling.
to move forward. I'm trying to see where I belong. The people that I've been holding on to, hoping that relationships build, I done learned to accept that for what it is and move on, and I'm still learning. Even my children, I'm learning how to separate from them and move forward. So yeah.
You're living intentionally.
I'm living intentionally.
You're living fully while still carrying that love and grief for your mom. So this is just an example, you all, how you can live fully and grieve fully in the same space. It does not have to be one or the other. You do not have to choose.
Right.
And I've heard you say moving forward. I have not heard you say moving on. Tell me about that and why it's okay to move forward. No one's telling you to move on.
Moving on, I think that moving forward and moving on is sort of different in my mindset, because when I say moving forward, I'm just at a stage where I'm able to let go of some things. Like I told you, I made an appointment with a consignment shop to get rid of my mom's stuff.
Yeah.
I want somebody to use it that's gonna take care of it, because she has some good stuff. Some stuff still got tags.
Yeah.
My mama was a shopaholic. So she would buy clothes and they still got tags on it.
Yeah.
So, and that took a long time. So if I wouldn't have been able to deal with the grief, I wouldn't be able to move forward. So moving on is like I done kind of like dealt with it. I done put it right here. I know when I dealt with it. Now I'm moving past it. That would be moving on to me.
Okay.
And of course, moving on would be with the physical things of life, like her house, her belongings, her personal things.
So you're repurposing those things. Is
Right.
that moving on or moving forward? I'm just curious.
Well, so far I still got them, so it's just moving forward because I'm making plans.
Okay.
I haven't done it.
That doesn't mean, and I think this is what I really want the people to absorb and digest, that doesn't mean you forget her.
No, I would never forget my mom.
So when people tell you to get over it and move on,
No.
some people get offended by that. So no one's, at least in this space, I'm speaking for this space because I can't speak for the people out there who have told you all to move on. In this space, no one is expecting you to move on, but moving forward is choosing to live.
No.
So moving forward, thriving, living with intention. And this is my personal and professional opinion. Moving on is asking you to forget. No one's asking you to do that.
No.
Moving forward is making a decision to live.
Yeah.
While you carry them with you in a different way because they're not here physically.
Right. My mom will always be with me.
Yeah.
I still say out loud, I be like, Mama, okay, what we gonna do now? Now I done did this and I done did that. Now,
Yeah.
Mama, what you want me to do next?
Yeah.
You know, so and I know she's not there, but it brings me a sense of comfort. Yeah, so yeah, moving forward and moving on is two different things. And like Marika say, no, I never forget my mom, and I never ask anybody to forget their loved ones.
Right.
Anybody that's in a session with me, in one of my sessions, I told one of my kids he's a good drawer. As his homework, I told him to draw a picture of his grandma. Yes, and he did it. He did it. So
what did that do for him?
It helped him. It helped him clear up his emotions, so he can go ahead and move forward. Because through the session, he was crying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. I never ask anybody to forget about their loved ones or forget. Even as you move forward to a new life, that still be a part of your life.
And what people have to understand, even as you're asking this young man to draw his grandmother, so he's expressing and releasing his emotions, he's sorting them out, identifying them, and he's able to, I'm assuming, I don't like making assumptions, it sounds like he was able to tell his story, and his grief was witnessed, and grief has to be witnessed. So once you know you feel seen and heard, there's a shift within that. That's a powerful move.
You're able to move forward.
Through that. But somebody sees me, somebody gave me space to give my grandmother and my grief for her space. And so as you're talking about moving forward, you're talking about becoming. This is a season, I like to call it a season or a period of self-rediscovery.
Right.
You were one person in one way with your loved one physically here in the world. Grief changes you so much. It doesn't mean that your life is not rebuildable. You can still rebuild and grow into someone else that they can still be proud of.
Right.
You're still Tamia.
Right.
You're still Tamia the person, Tamia the therapist, but now you have another sense of knowledge and wisdom that grief can provide if you allow it to.
Right.
So we're talking about your professional. You went back to your profession for a minute. How has Tamia the therapist changed through grief?
Since going through grief and especially seeing about myself and doing self-care with the therapy, the grief therapy, it has helped me really stay focused on the clients and the clients' needs. It really helped me be a better therapist. And it helped me be more acceptable to the people who's dealing with grief when they come into the sessions. Because I can meet them where they are. And
you had to go through it. You had to be where they are.
Yeah, I had to be where they are to be able to say that I understand.
Amen to that.
And I when my mom first died, I tried grief therapy. But this is one of my things is she was going through, her mom had died too. They put me with a lady her mom died too. And she wasn't there when I needed her. So I stopped going.
What do you mean she wasn't there when you needed her?
It's like the appointments would be like a month out or 3 weeks out to a month out and a month and a half out.
Okay.
If you can't meet me where I'm needed, at least once a week or something, what am I doing? So, yeah, I tried it. So you just have to find out what's worked with you, and you have to deal with your comfort.
Okay. So let's talk to the therapists out there who are listening, or the healing and helping professionals who are out there listening. What's the first step that they should take when they realize that their personal grief is bleeding into their professional life with their clients?
Take some time and do some self-care. But they would have to first realize that it's self-care that they need first.
Where is my bill? That's right.
Yeah. Because if you find yourself laying in bed and can't get up, can't move forward, take some time off and do self-care.
Thank you for your transparency and just your vulnerability to just show up in the space raw and real today. Is there a song, or are there songs that have helped you through your healing process?
Yes. China Styles. I've been listening to a lot of songs. China Styles is one of them. It's called "I Celebrate Me," and they talk about me versus me. And then it's a lot of songs that come through Facebook that I connect with. I shared one of your page today, and it was talking about going through her grief journey and what grief looked like for her. So yeah, that really helps me, and it helps me to stay motivated and move forward.
Those titles alone, what, I Celebrate Me?
Yeah, I celebrate
I
me.
Celebrate Me, and then me versus me.
Yeah, me versus me.
All right, so I want to add those to our adaptive anthem playlist. All right, hopefully for our listeners out there, you can give those songs a listen to see if they resonate with you in your healing journey, or pass them along to someone else. Well, I want to just again thank you for coming. You've shown us that even those who hold the light sometimes need somebody to hold the light for them.
Right.
So listen, guys, thank you for sitting with us, listening to us, joining us in this space of healing today. Don't forget to email me your stories and send me your songs. Go to whatsgriefgottodo@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to reading your stories and sharing them on the last few minutes of each episode. Take the time also to check out episodes, if you haven't already, of What's Grief Got to Do With It, the podcast. Thank you for being in the space. I love you all to life. I mean it always. Go out there and be intentional. Give your feelings space and validity. Don't judge yourself as you set those boundaries and you learn to adapt and learn how to live and move forward in this new space in a new way. Okay, love you to life. Mean it, guys. Bye.